It is a beautiful day, 9th October 2020, which is Hangulal in Korea. This is one of the episode of Saturday English Talk showing you the prep stage for article presentation on Saturday. The first article is about agequake. Agequake is a term coined by Paul Willis. I don't know who is. Agequake is a term coined by Paul Willis, a British scholar of population. It refers to the earthquake-like phenomenon of the world shaking due to the impact from a change in population structure due to societal aging. Willis emphasized the seismic power of agequake and predicted that the world economy would shake from its root by the agequake in 2020 when the baby boom generation starts to retire. Ominously enough, he put forward Korea as a country that would suffer first. Well, it is uncomfortable to admit it, but he seems to have made a correct prediction. There is no doubt that, like Japan, Korea is one of the world's fastest aging societies. I agree. The economy in rural areas, which means more money and more power, more manpower, more resources. Well, overall, Korea needs a comprehensive set of approaches and programs to cope with the fast aging society, including fiscal, welfare, healthcare, and labor policies. But as Korea became an aged society 1 year earlier than expected, government efforts have made little progress in coping with an aged society. It doesn't really work. Well, the next article is about TikTok ban. The article is from the New York Times. I guess Triller is the name of an app which is a competitor to TikTok. TikTok is a short video sharing app. Okay, let's read through. When talk of a possible TikTok ban began in July, the leaders of a small social video app called Triller saw a growth opportunity. To attract users, the company set its sights on TikTok's biggest names. Some of the Sway Boys, a group of TikTok's influencers, have been toying with the idea of building their own app to compete with TikTok, but after a discussion with Ryan Kavana, the majority owner of Triller and a veteran entertainment executive, they decided the platform could be good for them. Well, the Triller offered the creators a deal. Tell your audience on TikTok that you're moving to Triller, and we'll give you equity and roles within the company. So this is actually the same thing happened to Joe Rogan. So Joe Rogan has the YouTube channel called Joe Rogan Experience, and he moved to Spotify as of September 2020, and that was a huge deal. I don't really exactly remember how much money he got out of this deal, but that was one of the articles that I picked in this group. Getting that Triller money. Founded in 2015, Triller bills itself as an app for making professional-looking music videos quickly. Functionally, it's different from TikTok. It has different editing tools. Its users' business. TikTok and Triller can coexist and both be successful. As Kama said, this is only the beginning of a major shift in entertainment and consumption, and he hopes Triller will be a part of that change. The world moves fast. It's all instant gratification. There's instant fame and instant content, and we think this is how the future of the world is going to be. I think he's right at the last comment here. That's the key of this article. So we want instant gratification, and they know traffic is money. This era is all about that. And before jumping into any kind of conclusions or any kind of judging of this phenomenon, it is just what it is. This is just what happens right now. So I'm doing the video here and uploading it to YouTube. I'm just starting off, and it happens all the time. Um, they tend to move around platforms because if you are stuck in one platform, then you're dead. The same thing happened. Uh, Creators in Africa TV in Korea too. Like 2 or 3 years ago, they started to move to YouTube when they get to know that it's somewhat different platform and it is maybe a little bit easier. Maybe it's more comfortable. It's not really competing much like in Africa TV. So a lot of creators move to YouTube or they running both channels at the same time. I think it was a smart move. And in digital era, you have to move around your data. You have to move around your archives. If, like, let's say, even down to your family photos, you have to move around because you don't know how it will, you know, disappear. It's grim under a Trump or Biden administration, and we're expecting. Jim Cramer has a bleak outlook for the oil industry, and no matter who wins the White House next month. On Thursday's episode of Mad Money, the CNBC host said the oil market faces a tough future under a second Trump administration or a potential Biden administration after the November election. I'd say stay away from the whole grip because my long term forecast is grim. And investors there had to take in some of the losses because they were not really familiar with the futures market. I'm not. I am not an expert in futures market, and we talked about this in the group. Some of the investors they were holding oil futures ETF, and they were expecting gain in the future. I'm not really sure about their current position, but definitely we're talking about the current position in oil market. In oil market, I guess. I don't think there's no specific reason to pick up Jim Cramer's editorial about the oil market from CNBC, but it is just one of the articles about the market. The article is from the Korea Times. FTC tightens reins on Google in-app purchase policy. Fair Trade Commission Chairwoman Cho Sang-wook said Thursday the antitrust agency will soon come up with an investigation plan to look into Google's practices in running its mobile operating system, including the internet giant's recent policy forcing all in-app purchases to be made via its Play Store, rhythms and services other than shopping, and Joe said she believes so. Some claim Naver is able to manipulate the search results of new news content, but Joe said the FTC only looked into allegations regarding the Fair Trade Act, regarding the pending review on the acquisition deal between food delivery apps 배달민족 and Yogiyo. Joe said she hopes for the case to be wrapped up within this year. The two are the dominant players with more than a 90% market share combined. Well, I gotta say, because basically we have three different perspectives. One is the user. Even though the article claims that this kind of 30% cut from the in-app purchases, it will affect users because basically users are at the downstream of this, and they're gonna pay anyway, and their payment will compensate the app developers costs. Well, it is. I think it's true, but at the same time, customers don't really give a damn about this. They don't care unless it is too expensive or it doesn't really meet their expectations. In terms of app developers, I feel for them because they now have to set their price considering the 30% cut, and maybe some of the companies might not hold. They cannot sustain their business in this situation. So right now they are in a hostile environment, and there's going to be some losses or shutdowns of the company maybe in the future. And if there is any app developers out there, I feel for them. But it is what it is, and you have to adapt your business models to fit in this environment somehow, because you cannot wait for the governments to take care of you anyway. And the third perspective, the most important one, is actually the government's perspective, because of course, maybe they can say about the fairness issue in this, but I think it's just a taxation process towards tech giants, including Google and Facebook and Amazon in the U.S., but also the tech giants in Korea too. Naver, Kakao, they also are subjected to this kind of regulations in the future, and they tend to the companies in Korea, tech giants in Korea, tend to be the first victim of this kind of government regulation, and they don't give a damn. The government doesn't really give a damn about this. Anyway, the industry center is moving from manufacturing to this kind of platform industry. So governments just want to put taxes on the lucrative industry. That's it. And that's all it is. It doesn't really matter. Well, the major party, the minor, doesn't really work that way. The way I see it is all about taxation to newly rising industry, and government wants that juice. Well, from the four articles we've shared, I can see one thing in common. Up until September, we talked about the pandemic. COVID-19 was everywhere, expanding footprint all over the world. We had problematic church meetings, demonstrations caused more infection due to those events. And in the Saturday meeting, we talked about this. At least one articles were about this pandemic. Now things are a little different. We're looking into other things, and other businesses rising and falling. The next trend and people's new interest. Well, this pandemic might be there for the next months. Perhaps it will be there for the next year, 2021. We might talk about the pandemic again if it hits hard during the winter. But people are accustomed to it. We're already getting used to this already. It becomes a part of our lives somehow. So that's a wrap up for today. I look forward to seeing each and every one of you offline tomorrow morning. Thank you.